see evil, I evil when I converse.
Not today, say.
This how God works. Play my position, what is given with no concerns.
Go, 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 go.
Set it off. Top of the morning, I'm gonna set it off. You living boring, I'm gonna set it off. Shooting, I'm scoring, I'm gonna set it off. Like soldiers torn, I'm gonna set it off. Son of God, no, I am not son of man. Blessings keep falling, the fingers keep coming in. I got you, but just know I'm texting like Uncle Sam. Left to the bank, you know that I'm coming in. We don't do it for the bands though, we don't do it for the clout. Legacy on the line, so I'm moving in and out. Seen good ones turn top dog, greedy ones get knocked off. I keep looking at the bench like I could never not ball. Coach keep me in the game, Curry deadly with the range. I keep looking in the mirror like, who is he? I'm insane. Who am I? He insane. Guess I ain't the one to blame. What's done is done, won't change. Time to live up to my name. Real will be real, fake gon' fall. Took time with this here, I'm made for a while. No sleeping while I won't fall. No sleeping while I want it all. I keep God first. I see evil, I evil when I converse.
Not today, say.
This how God works. Play my position, what is given with no concerns.
Go, 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 go.
Set it off. Top of the morning, I'm gonna set it off. You living boring, I'm gonna set it off. Shooting, I'm scoring, I'm gonna set it off. Like soldiers torn, I'm gonna set it off. Told my baby, meet me at the bank. Told my mama, I'ma break the trend. Locked in, I'ma change the weight. Working for my baby's kids. Hard times couldn't make the rent. Working hard couldn't save a cent. Lonely nights, just me and God. Swear to him, always made the ends. Grab a paper, see the news. Hate coming by the tools. Walk a mile in my shoes. Something you can never do. Got my back against the wall. Bet I always pull through. Who are you? Who are you? Who are you? Who are you? Sending shots, I block 'em. Superman with the moves. Rock 'em, sock 'em, drop, bop 'em. Play to win, never lose. Run it up, I top 'em. Plate full, belly too. I hip hop or pop 'em. Anything I could do. The real won't be real, fake gon' fall. Took time with this here, I made for a while. No sleeping while I won't fall. No sleeping while I want it all. I keep God first. I see evil, I evil when I converse.
Not today, say.
This how God works. Play my position, what is given with no concerns.
Go, 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 go.
Set it off. Top of the morning, I'm gonna set it off. You living boring, I'm gonna set it off. Shooting, I'm scoring, I'm gonna set it off. Like soldiers torn, I'm gonna set it off.
I can hurt you like you hurt me too, me too. We're letting go, drifting apart. We're letting go, drifting apart. I can hurt you like you hurt me too, me too. We're letting go, drifting apart. We're letting go, drifting apart. hurt me too, me too. We're letting go, drift it up, we're letting go, drift it up, I can hurt you like you hurt me too, me too. We're letting go, drift it up, we're letting go, drift it up, we're letting go, drift
What's up, everybody?
What's up?
Bola re, bola sia.
How's it going, everybody? Welcome back to On the Mat. My name is Jonathan, and it is a beautiful Friday afternoon. First day of May.
Hey, first May, hey.
Oh, 2nd of May.
Oh, second,
Shoot,
right,
sorry.
right.
But we'll celebrate it like it's the 1st of May.
Yeah.
How's everybody doing? I'll give everybody a couple seconds to get on here.
What do you have?
This is a frozen protein shake smoothie.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's great.
Yay for keto. So excited.
Yeah, okay.
Huh?
That frozen smoothie, this one without a smoothie.
Hey, lay. Bula, everybody. And welcome.
Mother.
Oh. What a
bola
day.
re, bola
What
sia
a
di
day.
Noah.
Who?
My auntie.
Bula.
You know the blonde one from La Junia?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, the other one, yeah.
Bula. Bula, everybody. Dude, how about the lady who got stabbed today?
What?
Oh, yeah, the other day. Croy's auntie, eh?
Eh?
Dude, you didn't know that?
No, I didn't.
Yeah. The one who was stabbed. We're coming to you from Fiji, by the way, if you guys are coming upon this. I live on the northern island with my family, Vanuatu. And there's been a bunch of cases of domestic violence recently, which have been really, really upsetting to read over. It's there's one lady who is related with Koroe. For those of you who know Koroe from our lives, she was one of related to him, and so yeah, she was a single mom of 3, I think, for like the last 13 years. Met this guy like just over a year ago, I think. Got engaged, got married, and then they got in some sort of argument, and he got obviously really upset. She came to apologize to him, and then he messed her up, stabbed her, and then killed himself too.
Aye.
Yeah, and so they live right beside it. They live in one of the housing blocks in Suva somewhere, and yeah, they were fighting, and it was Sunday morning, and there was like they live beside a church, and apparently the church is really, really loud music.
Oh,
And
that's the one.
The daughter was like running outside trying to get people's attention, and everybody in the church is like, "Go back inside. We're worshiping here."
Oh, yeah.
Like, and they couldn't hear
calling for
her.
help, huh?
Yeah, her screams, the mom screams, or the daughter, and then the daughter didn't even hear her mom getting stabbed. Came into the room, and her mom was just about to die. And
Crazy.
yeah, obviously not something fun that we like talking about, but man, we got a serious pandemic, I think, in the South Pacific Islands as men. There's something that runs deep in our blood that is obviously some sort of a stronghold or an issue that we don't know how to deal with, or probably there's never an excuse for this kind of stuff, but probably the results of past trauma, and probably even seeing it and being around it, and it being like, for a lot of people that I grew up with in Canada, like, it was not you just never even saw it. It wasn't even a thing that like people even like. It's like people who hit their girlfriends or hit their wives is like, it seems like it's as rare as somebody who kills somebody. Like, you really never hear about it. You hear about murder more often than you hear about domestic violence. But it's pretty prevalent in Fiji and around the South Pacific, and it's something that we obviously don't know how to deal with our emotions right, us men
Exactly.
in the Pacific. Is this anything you dealt with, Tui? Like when you were doing your mental health awareness stuff, going to communities and talking with guys and stuff, guys and girls, but
Like what that I've heard of?
yeah, like is there ever a conversation that you ever had with somebody?
No, I haven't had with somebody that was going through it. But I agree with you. It's just how like we as men just don't know how to deal with our emotions, or we don't have that space to talk about whatever that we're going through. And like you said, like it's all about past traumas as well. What they as a child growing up is all that you've seen, and nobody has told you straight or like helped you how to deal with your emotions. So you think that's the only way, or the way that you always just do have to deal with it. You don't have that circle of friends or circle that safe space to release, or to like have somebody to talk about it over and over.
Yeah.
And so you think that's the only way you release. And like with the pressure of work, with life and expectations, and conversations with your wife or your de facto partner and all that, and so yeah, it's sad. I'm not trying to find a reason for like to like you said.
No, but
to
like I
sit-
mean, it's got to be a way to like open up the conversation with people, and be able to talk about it openly. Yeah, it's just it's something that obviously we need to learn how to deal with in the Pacific.
Like, how would you deal with it? How would you?
I think it would probably look like having a large group of men that you could probably do like an anonymous questionnaire with, and like drop your paper in the bucket, kind of thing. And questions like, have you ever been the victim of child abuse, physical, sexual? Have you ever witnessed, your parents being? Did you ever witness your parents being physical with each other? Have you ever been physical with a partner? Abusive, verbally, physically, and like having separated, and then be able to have like open up the conversation in a safe space, right?
Yeah.
Where people could talk about why they. I just feel like nobody talks about it.
Exactly.
That's why I want to talk about it, because it's like, when you're exposed to it, I would assume that it leaves some sort of scar on you. Yeah, just something that I would be interested in, like facilitating a conversation. I don't even know who deals with it, Like the thing is, like, we have the Ministry of Women and Children and Poverty Alleviation. Is that all under one? Ministry of Women and Children.
Ministry of Women and Children.
Yeah, I thought Poverty Alleviation was, maybe Linda Tambuya was just in charge of that one too. But there's no Ministry of Men, and there's a Morgan Wallen song that just came out, and the tagline or the punchline in the song is, "If I'm the problem, then you must be the reason."
Oh.
Right? And the
I know
problem
that
is the
song.
name of the song. And obviously, for those of you who know Morgan Wallen, country artist, biggest country artist out right now, genius songwriter, him and Ernest, Jelly Roll, lots of guys who are really great, Post Malone, who are really great at songwriting right now in the country music space. But that song, I think, touches on, I think that specific lyric touches on something that a lot of men feel and probably aren't able to say it or don't know how to say it. And it's probably something that could be explored, like if I'm the problem, then you must be the reason. And so I think there's probably a lot of men who feel like that. Like, if I'm the problem, then it's because of you. And so we need to figure out how to have this conversation so that men know how to harness and to bring under control, rein in their, like, not their attitude, but their emotions. And the problem is that, like, I think we don't talk about anything, so we just bottle it up, and then it gets taken out. Like, I mean, I take out, like, Stephanie gets the worst of me. She gets the best of me, and she gets the worst of me. I'm not saying that I beat my wife, but I'm saying, like, it makes sense that you would have the highest of the highs and the lowest of the lows, and the person that would be exposed to both ends of that is the person you love the most and feel comfortable around the most. But, like, there's also a quote by Desmond Tutu that I've quoted before, and it's like, we have to stop pulling people out of the river. We have to go upstream. We have to stop just pulling people out of the river. We need to go upstream and figure out why they're falling in. And I think, Ministry of Women and Children, like, it deals with some of that stuff. But then the Ministry of Man, you could call that basically the Fiji Police Force. I mean, if men are going to be dealt with or be listened to or be talked to or be heard, or conversation is facilitated, I think it's at the mercy of young, untrained police officers, who are left to deal with these super hyper tense moments responding to domestic violence stuff. And it's just like, I'm saying that because, like, we have a Ministry of Women, but I think that's just dealing with the symptom, a lot of times. And we need that, but we have to also go to, like, the root issue, go upstream and figure out, like, why are men doing this to women? Why are they the way they are? Yeah. And I just don't think anybody's really interested in hearing it or in talking about an arm of the government, or it's not cool in Western society to fund something that targets men, cisgendered males, like, that's not what we're getting funding for from AusAid or from, the World Bank. It's not, everybody's getting beat by men, but nobody wants to fund men's mental health. And nobody wants to hear about a man's problems or how he feels. But we just want men to be good men.
How do we
Yeah.
bring up a
You
society
know what I mean?
of good men?
Well, because, like, I just feel like it's not a sexy thing. Like, men have always had such a huge advantage in the workplace, and, especially in a patriarchal society like Fiji, men are felt to have such a huge advantage, but there's obviously something wrong with us men. And there's obviously something that we need to air out once in a while, and we need a safe space to be able to do that. And I suppose that's not something that the culture or, the powers that be offer to our people, is that space.
Like, there's a question I usually ask among my friends. How many of your group of friends, like guy friends, that you have a safe space and having, these kind of conversations? Like, what's going on with you?
Right.
Like, really, like, in depth. I don't think there's a lot of group of men that would have that kind of space, right? Like, or kind of friends.
Right, yeah.
Like, the kind of friends that, you would sit and not just be a friend, but like a real brother to talk to, lean to, and have this tough conversation.
Yeah.
And like, man, I've been going through this with my wife, and I don't know how to deal with it. And sometimes I just, get so mad, and
Yeah.
like that kind of space.
I suppose that's where you'd hope the church would step in,
Yeah, the church can help so much, like telling, like, what this is, what's wrong and what's right.
Yeah.
But like, it all comes, a lot of people's like, yeah, you gotta pray, do this, like, you gotta stop doing that. But like, there's no, like, the follow up later on, like, maybe you as a shepherd or looking after your sheep, to check in on them again.
Yeah.
And create that space, bring them in, and have a one-on-one conversation with men in, a marriage couple, like, sort of thing. And like you said, we have organizations of, like, trying to solve the problem, solve the symptom, but we don't really
Solve the problem. Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
why are men the way they are? Most of them.
Yeah, it's like, you can, have headaches all day long, not drinking any water, and then take Tylenol and it can ease the headaches, or take Panadol or acetaminophen or whatever, and it can help with your headaches. But the problem is that you're not drinking enough water and you're dehydrated. And so, you can fix the headache, but the headache is a symptom of something that you're not doing right. And so I feel like offering services to women has to be there. Like, I'm not saying get rid of these. Don't hear me wrong. I'm just saying I feel like there's something that's missing that seems really obvious to me. One of the most impactful ministries that happens in our church that I was a part that we're a part of in Canada is men's group, and so every Sunday, a group of men meet together and they get raw with each other, like really honest, really about things that they struggle with, whether it's in the relationships, whether it's with pornography, with all sorts of different things that men in particular struggle with, and they're just really, really open. And all of my guy friends I know that are involved in that group, the consistent thing that they say, the most meaningful time, the most meaningful thing that they're part of in the church is their Sunday night men's group. And it's just not Bible study per se. It's a guy. It's not being led by some respected leader. It's not being led by some pastor or somebody who has a degree or certifications, or it's led by one of us, one of you, and just to facilitate conversation. Usually they start by getting the blood flowing, like playing touch rugby or something like that. In their case, like floor hockey. They play like 10 minutes, and they said, and my friend who leads it, he said he found that the guys were so much more open if they got their blood flowing before they started, just like 10, 15 minutes. And that would just let everybody's guard down. I guess you can probably relate it if you guys have seen like Hot Ones, where like people start saying way, way more because they're like freaking out about how like hot the chicken wings are. And so in the same way, I guess, you got the blood flowing, and you're thinking about, you're warmed up, and you're hyped, and I guess you're ready to talk. You're not just sitting there and kind of in a mood and in this same funk that you've been in all day. And so, yeah, there's got to be something that I think that the church steps in with and offers to men. And I don't really know if that's something prevalent. Maybe you guys know somebody watching. Maybe churches do men's group. But a lot of times in Pacific culture, we're just like really stoic providers, and we don't, talking about emotions doesn't really do anything for the family. And so I think that obviously needs to change. Because one of the headlines here today, 3 women dead. Weekend of domestic violence exposes brutal cost of silence. And I think they missed the mark, even with that headline. The brutal cost of silence. Again, I think silence is a symptom of a bad or a unhealthy marriage or relationship. Like, women only need to not be silent if something is happening. So for just to teach women how to not be silent, it's like, you need to say something. You need to say something. It's like, well, but how can we get these men to stop hitting their girls, Hey, Steph. Guys say we'll be there in half an hour. Yeah.
And I think it all comes down to society as well. Like you as a neighbor, you play a part. Like that this is happening in your neighbor. Don't just be.
Yeah, for sure. All around.
And just talk about it in the neighborhood. Oh, this was happening last night. These two were fighting. Like, you play a part too.
Yeah.
In their safety.
Yeah.
And say something. And call the police. Call someone to come and help. You too can step in and prevent that. Like a lot I've been seeing on social media, people just talk about crap or gossips. This is what's been happening. These two been having an affair. Blah 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 blah. But when it comes down to this, and then everybody's just like, hey, it's remorse, But you could have done something. You could have said something. Could have talked about it. Maybe because she's too scared to say it. But you, as a neighbor, you could have saved someone's life at the moment, at the time when it's happening or whatever. And it's just, yeah. These things, it's not new. It's been happening for so long. And there are programs, there are, organizations that help. But, yeah, just for me personally, I just don't know how we can solve the problem.
Yeah, I think obviously all things are possible through Christ.
Yeah.
And I think this is a case where you need the power of the Holy Spirit and just honest conversation, good intention, prayer, and just somebody with the right intentions and the right ability to facilitate these conversations. 3 women are dead and another is seriously injured after a weekend of brutal domestic violence, exposing once again Fiji's deep struggle with violence inside the home. At Suva's, we'll see how many times we talk about men here. At Suva's Langi Langi house complex, a quiet Sunday morning was torn apart by screams. Resident Lily Duai said police arrived around 11 a.m. after neighbors called for help. Inside, officers found a couple dead, believed to be a murder-suicide. It was terrifying, Mrs. Duai said. We heard children crying and screaming, then the police brought out her body in a bag. It is something I will never forget. Police said the couple had been arguing before the tragedy. Investigations are ongoing. In Nandi, another life was stolen. Karishma Chowdhury, 28, a mother of 4 and pregnant with her 5th child, was found stabbed to death inside her home on Kerimbula Road. Her partner, a 47-year-old taxi driver, has been arrested. Her grieving mother stood outside their house surrounded by mourners. She was my pillar, my eldest child, she said through tears. She was carrying another baby. Now they are both gone. 3 of Miss Chowdhury's children were inside the house and are believed to have witnessed the attack. In another Suva case, police found a woman outside an apartment complex with serious injuries. She was rushed to the CWM hospital. Police are still searching for the suspect. Police spokesperson confirmed that arrests have been made and investigations are underway. Minister for Women, Children, and Social Protection called the deaths tragic and gut-wrenching, saying the country must treat violence as a national emergency. Despite laws, funding, and services, these tragedies still happen.
Yeah.
We must stop violence at the family and community level before it turns deadly. The Fiji Women's Crisis Center also issued a strong statement calling for real leadership and urgent action. Director Shamima Ali said, "These deaths were preventable. We must stop making excuses. Enough is enough." Yeah, I mean, yeah, words are kind of empty. I mean, it's your department, right? It's, I don't know, it's what's this? Calling for real leadership and urgent action. Well, yeah, we need leadership. And we need leaders who will actually talk about this stuff and not just condemn it. Because, like, with children, you can't just condemn them all the time and tell them not to do things. You have to give them options and give them alternative things. Like, don't do this. Why? Because of this, okay? So the job is to listen to you, but then you need to explain and then try to curb their actions by giving them alternative solutions or alternative things to do. Like, that's just... So, just to tell people to stop and expect them to stop, it's not going to work.
To tackle the root causes, huh?
Oh yeah, can you just pull it all out and just set it beside the truck? Oh, yeah, you can take the pumpkins, yeah. Just take out all the jugs and the little oil jug because it's leaking. What's that?
To find the root causes and tackle it.
Yes. Yeah. But like nobody is really willing to have these conversations at a leadership level, Like-
Track, yes, from schools, from homes, and church to normalize emotional literacy among the boys,
Yeah.
especially for the boys, so they learn to express
Yeah. No, for sure.
without violence.
I think starting from kindergarten with teachers going through school, right up to our prime minister, I think we should be having these conversations. And not just condemning, but actually talking about it like it's something that you can relate with.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Following up again for everybody that's joining us. If you have opinions or comments, feel free to put it down in the comments. Who's this?
Yes,
John, have you
please.
guys installed the bull bar yet?
Huh. No. Still here. Still here. We are, because I got it and then, whatever. Things have been busy. I haven't prioritized my budget to get somebody to install it. And so, here she sits. But I need to put it on. I do. Thanks for the reminder. Who's that?
Z.
Z.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel bad because it was given to me and it's just like it would have been on already, but it's not just remove the plastic bumper and fit the bull bar. You have to cut and measure and everything, and this bull bar didn't come with templates. And so I need to have a day, like a Saturday, where I can measure it, start cutting, and it'll take a couple days.
Would it look like the rental one?
Yeah, it will. Yeah. And I'm not I'm not a hack. Like, for those of you who know, like I used to work on cars, and so when I do work on cars, I'm very particular, and so I need to make sure it's right. Like I don't just cut and then measure and just hope for the best. I need to be sure of what I'm doing.
Bula Sisa. Bula normally.
Yeah, that's what I was doing. I was checking for questions.
She says, on the bus right now, on my way home. Hey.
Sweet.
Yeah, I'm gonna ask them the question, like what works for them at a time.
Oh yeah, what do you guys like for a time for these? Like, is 5 too early? Should it be later in the evening? Like, should we be doing these like in 6 or 6:30 or 7 or something like that instead? Would that work better for everybody? Or do you think more people would be interested in coming to the table, coming to the mat?
David.
Let me know.
Yeah. Hello from Vancouver, BC, Canada. We love Irish people. Yay! East side, downtown Vancouver.
East side, downtown Vancouver. East side. East Hastings. Would you be interested in co-founding a kava bar in the States? One guy asked. Not at the moment. Not really in the position to be able to put my time and energy into that right now. Nor can I really offer anything as far as capital goes to that. So, yeah, but I mean, I'd be interested to explore the idea, I guess, to see what that looks like. But we're behind the scenes, we're making moves, and so these moves have big repercussions. So I'm hesitant to get involved in anything new at the moment, if you know what I'm saying. These moves will see us not on the mat here one day. We'll be on the mat, but it'll be somewhere new. And that's all I can say for now.
Did you see that headline? Proper livestock management.
Yeah. Where is this? Vivia.
Vivia.
Yeah.
Hello.
Lao? Oh. Yeah, so they're talking about proper livestock management key to community health. So these villagers were reminded that their livestock should be 100 meters away from the village boundary. I think Laoans have lots of pigs, eh?
Yeah.
And do they keep them close to the houses?
I've seen the ones. I went to Narui, Moala, and I've seen their poultry. Is it poultry? Is that what you call it?
Chickens?
Chicken. The pig.
Yeah.
They have it on the sea.
Over
on
the
side
ocean?
Of the sea. Yeah.
Or what?
And it just goes. The floor. They built it with wood. It goes down, like, not to the sea level, but when it's high tide, it washes the.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and they just get to move up to where the dry place is.
Oh.
And when it's low tide, they come and like they use the space when it's low tide. And then high tide, it just comes and it just cleans itself.
It's a floor? Or it's
Yeah.
just the beach?
Yeah, they have like long posts
Oh, okay.
and then a floor.
That's smart, eh?
Yeah.
Huh.
So when high tide, it just comes and cleans it,
It goes back.
goes back.
Sick. That's a good idea.
That's the ones I've seen.
Yeah. I think a lot of villages have pigs that are not far enough away from the village. Like, they're not 100 meters away. But, what was I going to say about this? Yeah, the worst part about it is the smell for me. I hate the smell of pigs. That's why I don't raise pigs, because I can't stand the smell. Yeah. It's not why. That's not the only reason why, but it's one of the big reasons. I don't like dealing with pigs. Super Rugby tonight? Blues versus Force. And tomorrow, Drua versus Reds. Where are they playing? In Suva?
Yeah, double header tomorrow.
Yeah, hey?
The Fijiana and Walrus first test match ever.
Right.
That's in 5 p.m. And the one at 2 or 3 is the Drua versus Reds.
Okay.
I mean, they're out of the Drua. Like, they're just playing their last few games, but they're out of the.
They can't make it anywhere.
Yeah, they can't. Yeah.
Got it.
The way that Reds played the last time,
Dude, we're going to be in Suva next weekend.
they're gonna beat them so bad.
No, we're going to be in Suva next weekend
Yeah.
at the CMF church while the Drua game is on.
What Drua game?
They're playing in Suva next weekend.
What game?
Friday. Drua versus Blues. ANZ Stadium.
No, really?
Friday, May 9th.
Suva?
Yeah, Friday, May 9th. 7:05 p.m. And you already got a VIP to the CMF.
Shoot,
boy.
man! Shit.
Huh? Yeah, I just thought about it. Why could it be on, dude? If it was on Saturday, what you can do? But Friday will be with Phil.
How much?
Hey, no, boy. No.
Sneak out. See, so
7:05 p.m.
yeah.
And I think, Phil's thing is in the evening. It's okay. That's okay. No hard feelings, right? I just thought about that. I'm like, oh, we're gonna be in Suva. I wonder if the game's on Saturday. Okay, Friday night. So we will be in Suva all of next week. So if you guys see us around, you can say hi, say hello.
Dad, where's Mom?
She left.
What?
She left.
Where? Dad, she left where?
She went to pick up Tada.
To come here?
No, to pick him up in Driketi. So, landowners demand answers over mineral exploration. The Ministry of Lands and Mineral Resources is facing serious pushback from landowner units in Ba over mineral exploration in their province. 10 tikinas in Ba have formally objected to ongoing exploration activities and are demanding clarity from the government on how their land is being used and who stands to benefit. The concerns were serious enough to prompt Lands Minister Filimoni Vosarongo to travel to Nandi to meet with the village leaders. Vosarongo called the Talanoa session to explain the government's legal position, that all minerals in Fiji belong to the state, and no mining can take place without going through strict licensing, environmental checks, and consultations. He said that Tikinas deserve to be heard in a respectful and inclusive space. The minister stated that the meeting was not just about calming tensions, but about ensuring that landowners understand how exploration approvals are granted and what role they can play in the decision-making process. Tikina representatives raised strong concerns about the impact of exploration on the land, a lack of awareness about approval processes, and the need to be included from the start, not just informed after decisions are made. Yeah. Well, yeah, that makes sense, right? I mean, that's fair. That's fair. To me, that's fair. Maybe, I don't know, I think landowner units are usually a pain in the butt anyways. When it comes to people trying to do stuff, make progress.
Yeah.
And there's some that figure it out and are able to progress very, very quickly. I don't know, there's got to be a balance. There's a balance of everything that, the land is there for, and so that it's there for a long time, but also like your kids need to eat, and it'd be sweet if they can have, scholarship funds so they can go to secondary education and stuff. And if your land has potential and you just say no to save it for your kids, and your kids don't get the future they could have had because you're not willing to do something with your land, then, I mean, what is it for? But I think the problem in the past is that we've just been screwed over so much. And we're afraid to...
Speak up.
Yeah, to speak up and to do things. Like, we're afraid that we don't understand the processes, right?
Right.
There's so much backdoor stuff and corruption and stuff that goes on that people are afraid of, that like people can start doing things and some people grab money and then things start happening without people knowing.
Right.
Yeah. It can get pretty messy. So we had an election in Canada.
Oh yeah, that happened
Over
this week?
the last week, yeah. So
Is it the outcome that you expect?
definitely not. Very disappointed as a business owner. Yeah, we re-elected a Liberal government, which
Oh, really?
is, yeah, Justin Trudeau's Liberal government. He's not obviously prime minister anymore, but basically they did what Kamala Harris did with Joe Biden, but then in this case Kamala Harris won instead of Donald Trump. And so yeah, what I'm saying is they one stepped down, the other came in and then won the election. And
What happened to that guy?
Pierre
Yeah.
Poilievre, I think he was just way too overconfident, and so was I. And he didn't take it seriously, and he didn't run like a really, really
campaign.
strong campaign. I think he just kind of thought that he had it in the bag. Because like he was humming along really good, like 2 years ago. And up till like probably 8 months ago, like it was just like, dude, this guy is so inevitable, like he's the one. Like he's him kind of thing, you know? And then I don't know if he separated himself enough from Trump because Canada hates Trump right now.
Ah,
And so I think I don't know if he was very clear about like, you know, what he was going to do with the economy and how he was not going
gonna
to
help the economy.
Yeah. Yeah. And so lots of people just blame Trump for it, but I think he just ran a really, really weak campaign expecting to win. It'll be interesting. There's 13 new parties, hey, in Fiji for the next campaign.
Yeah.
The man in the paragraphs was telling me the other night. We gotta get him on a podcast. The man in the para.
Yeah.
Or as he says about himself, this fat man in the para. If you're listening, one day, my fatu, we'll get you on there. One day. Man, okay, I was actually thinking about Ndrua while I was working the other day.
Yeah.
And like, well, I think we were talking about it too. Or I was talking about it with somebody, but just kind of an underwhelming season, hey? From a fan perspective, and I understand that people listen to this and, you know, players can hear it, and so yeah, I think just as a fan it was just a bit disappointing. And I don't even think it was like the players' fault. Like I don't think of this season. It was just like the marketing was poor. The coaching felt poor. It felt like there was no vibe to get behind with the team. It felt like none of the sponsors were really like into it that much. Like, because we were in talks with the sponsors, a couple sponsors, and just kind of fell flat in its face. I don't. Maybe some hanging up here. Yeah, and I was saying to somebody the other day, like, you know, in Fiji, or Fijians have a good coach because we'll talk about it, and we'll talk about how much, you know, he understands and how he fits in and how he'll have some Yangona, or how he just like, you know, he just fits in so well with the team culture. He understands our culture. But with this coach, like, we don't really hear anything at all. And I don't think that's a good thing. And so usually, like, no news is good news, but I think in this case, like, no news is bad news. Because when we have a good coach, like, we know about it, like, as fans. Because the players are like, oh, like, Mick Burns, like, just so, like, understands, like, the players, and, you know, just, like, we'll talk with them, and it's like a mentor, he's like a father, blah, 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 blah. But this coach, like, don't really know, you know, much of anything about him. I haven't really heard much about him. Like, I don't know.
Yeah, that's just rugby. The way I see it, how it turned, like the turnover from like the results from last year when Blues were on the top, and now it's a whole different result.
Yeah,
that you
no,
see.
and the thing that the crazy part um, is we have the sickest players right now. Like our forwards are insane. Our back line is ridiculous. But like I don't know where Masi's been all season. Rutamanda, is Munt still on the lineup? He's been injured. There was just some players last year, the last couple years, that had like insane performances, and then it's like now, like all of the new kids are the ones who are performing, like Longini Masi and guys like that, you know, and it's just like I don't know if there's something with. That's why I feel like it's something with the coaching. Like our senior players aren't really stepping up to the plate, or they're being mismanaged, or you know, poorly coached or something. It just feels like the sound effect wah wah wah. This kind of feels like the mood. But I could be wrong about that. Have you felt it like different than other seasons or no?
This season,
Yeah, or it's been the same.
it's different. I feel like they're playing the old style Fijian structured game,
Unstructured game.
unstructured game. Just pass, go, pass, go. Just hoping there's like a, you know, that Fijian fling where it just breaks off.
Yeah.
There's no, the way that Moana is playing right now. Phew.
I know, like, I mean, I think that Drua needs to take a page out of the Moana playbook. Like,
And their marketing, why? So
like
good.
okay, I have a proposal, okay? What if we, you know, swap coaches for Serua Kula, Fijian coach, and then we brought in the likes of, just say, Tuisova and Nathalevu. Couple like really experienced international level players. Like that's what Moana has done with Ardi Savea, with okay, what's the name of their coach now? I want to say Ma'anonu.
What coach? For
Moana Pacifica.
Moana? Oh, that guy.
Oh my gosh, dude.
Yeah,
Oh
yeah,
my
I saw his
gosh.
face. Yeah.
Okay. Oh my gosh. Tanu Umanga. Holy cow.
Umanga.
Tanu
Boy.
Umanga.
Embarrassing.
Yeah, that's really embarrassing for a moment there, actually. Sorry, guys. Should be ashamed of myself. But to bring in like a star player and then pair that up with a coach who understands culture, understands the boys, but has played on that international level. And I think that could be really, really highly effective for our team and the fan base. And so, something to think about. I think there's rumors that they're swapping coaches.
Eh?
I mean, it's on social media. Yeah.
No, these last two games. You see how they perform, but like the way I saw Reds play the last time, oh, mo kungo udrua.
Yeah.
Reds been like last year. Reds was like the bottom. They're at the bottom,
Here's like where I am.
and now they're in the top. Top three.
Exactly. I'm just kind of like, you know, we're going to Suva. We'll be in Suva next week. And I'm not like super upset to be missing the game. Like, beginning of the season, I was hyped, super hyped. Meetings with different sponsors of theirs, you know, they lost a couple games, but it was just the beginning of the season. You're just like hyped to be watching the Drew again, right? And then, boy, oh boy, has their marketing team really like dropped the ball, or they don't have one. I mean, when you look at what Moana Pacifica is doing, it's just like,
Yeah.
dude, it's so easy, man. You have so many cool stories. You have so many inspirational things that happen behind the scenes.
You saw the way they're doing vlogs now?
Yeah, now
That's
they're doing
great.
vlogs and so simple. Like half of honestly, the vlogs are not even that good. The vlogs are not even that good. Half of it is gameplay that you could see in one of the highlights, and the rest of it is like a third-person perspective of the game itself and like leading up to it. But what's cool is the leading up to it part and the parts you don't see in the game. But other than that, you're like in the locker room, in the tunnel, kind of stuff like that. But like, awesome. I'm not saying that the vlog's bad. I'm just saying like it's not crazy creative. It's very simple media to make, and it's just like, why are we not? Why aren't we doing that? Why? Do you know why? Is there no budget?
I guess it's just not enough creativity. No one to think about it or talk about it. Or
I want to see Brewer.
that's what I'm hoping for. The Fijiana
I mean,
building up for the World Cup.
just look at their.
You know,
Yes. Yeah. Exactly.
that's what they should be doing. Like making us fall in love with each player and hearing about their stories and
Like look at this feed, right? It's just very blasé. Like, it's very consistent, brand consistent with their colors and everything like that. But like, there's nothing pulling me in to like. It all looks like advertisements. Top tackler, fan player, double header, try kickoff. It's just kind of like, why? Why is this so boring? Kind of like this live, you know? Why is it so boring?
yeah. Well, you see the rugby
You guys gotta
world,
start asking questions.
World Rugby.
Yeah.
They put out, I think, at the beginning of the year, content creator applications for teams
Oh, okay.
to do basically that, right? Because they want to promote more of the women's, rugby in the world, and so they've come in that direction where to hire the content creators. Apply what do you think is the best fit to promote your teams or whatever countries that you're from.
And Fijiana needs one.
I think so.
Hmm.
They should start building their campaign now, just like how we used to talk about it. Players, interviews, their story right from home, where they started there.
Yeah.
Back to the roots and seeing like, right from the villages wherever they came from, and to tell their story. It's so that we as Fijians would fall in love with them even more, and like we know their background story. We're a huge fan of them. So, because some of them, like I just saw one of their reels, I think last week or this week. They just walk in front, holding the mic, saying their name, their village, and I'm like surprised, like, oh, some of these girls are from the Kondrave, Mazuata, Mbua.
Really?
I'm like, oh, this is something I didn't know, and
Didn't know.
I would love to be,
See?
because they rap in the north.
Yeah.
So the West, like I wanna be part of that. I wanna get behind them. I wanna get to know them.
Yeah.
Be true fans.
I know. It'd be cool.
And
I'd be down to do something with them.
So yeah, that's what World Rugby is doing, just to hire content creators. They applied, and if you get the job, you get the job, and just to promote like the teams leading up to the World Cup. And I think with the men's too, they will do that. It's they just started with the women's World Cup.
Right.
Yeah,
Right.
that would be something interesting. I mean, I just saw it, but I was just a bit late when I saw the post coming up, and my friend Nina shared it to me.
For Fujiana.
Fijiana, yeah. I'm like,
It's already closed though.
yeah, it's already closed because with that, the World Rugby will sponsor the whole thing, sponsor the whole trip. Because I don't want to say it in a bad in a bad way, but I know FRU wouldn't have the kind of budget to hire somebody full time, to do content
so?
for them. Yeah, they don't. I mean, look at like the past years, they were struggling. Even the World Cup for the men's, they were struggling to pay the men's. You know,
Yo, dude, that's wild to not have like a marketing budget
yeah,
of some like. We have you, right? Like I mean, and, like this is very like, we're not the FRU. Like we're not. Okay, but like, how can the Fiji Rugby Union, the thing that takes Fiji to the world, not have the budget for just like one person? Like, that'd be a sick job. Like, even I'm sure somebody who's like got skills would just love to just cover my living and stuff, and I'll this journey with this for a year.
yeah,
Add it to my resume.
yeah,
Be sick. Because you can see even the Moana guys, they're leveling up. Like the guys that are doing their social media are learning as they go, and they're getting
learning as they
better.
go,
Like
yeah.
I've seen it over
Yeah.
the past few months. Like it's getting more crisp. The storytelling's more consistent, and like things are like incrementally getting better. And so I just don't buy it. I don't buy it that they don't have a budget for.
yeah. They really don't. They really don't.
How about we just don't do one of the annual banquets for the FRU, and then we just hire a marketing person? How about we just don't do one night at GPH, and just pay that to the budget for somebody to be a marketing person for the year? Like, does Fiji Bati have a bigger budget than the FRU? Because they were staying at GPH,
I really don't know.
and I think it was like rooms plus $300 a day per player for food, and they were there for like a week and a half. So it was like 28 people at $300 a day for 8 days, plus the accommodation. It was like, whoa. But that's the cool thing with Simon Rabalui when he was a coach, like taking them to sleep in Tavini, in the hall.
Oh yeah.
The boys before the World
Community.
Cup. Like, man, he knew something different about our boys too.
The time, eh?
Yeah. Like, there's ways to save money so that you can spend it on important stuff. Because, like, marketing is not like... It's so funny people treat marketing like it's like a secondary thing. Like, it doesn't need to be done.
I feel like it should be the main thing.
That's the main thing.
Yeah, invest in good gears, invest in a content creator to come and, because they are the ones that will bring, the more
Well,
invest.
exactly. Yeah, I
When
mean,
you
that's
tell
what
these
we're
stories
that's
like,
what we're working
whoa,
on, right? These video
like
projects
you
that
as
we're
an
working
investor, right? You
Yeah.
as an investor, like watching their story.
Like, how much more, like, would you think, like, if you had a business, you'd be willing to sponsor Moana Pacifica now than, like, a couple years ago? Now that they have RD, that they're doing all this social media, like, you'd be like, dude, I want my brand on the back of their shorts or
Exactly.
on their jersey or
'Cause
something,
they just do
They do so much media, so much good media.
good marketing,
Yeah.
videos.
And like I've talked to different sponsors in Fiji. I've talked to Jax. We've talked to other companies about like, hey, why don't you sponsor us to tell stories, to go and make content with some of the different players and stuff. And it's just like, yeah, haven't heard anything. I think people are just slow to adopt, and they feel like we'd rather have players come and stand at the doors to our shops and sign autographs than
Right.
to pay
The
for.
Moana. I'm not a Moana Pacifica fan. Like when they first started, but this year the
I am
way they were
now.
marketing is like whoa.
Oh yeah,
Like
I want
I
that.
love them
I
now.
want the Pacific Islanders jersey too. The red, white, and blue one.
Yeah.
Yeah, that thing is sick.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Wait, they haven't. What is that? Something they wear? No.
they just wore it that one game, that 1 week.
Oh.
But it was like a throwback to Pacific Islanders,
Oh,
right?
okay.
Yeah,
The Tonga, Fiji, Samoa.
yeah.
What was the team?
Pacific Islanders.
Pacific
Yeah,
Islanders.
yeah.
Hey, I saw that one.
The punjas on the front.
The punjas. You know the cookie Ed. The Ed, the punjas one or the FMF flower.
Which one?
The cookies they were doing the table war or something.
No, I don't remember.
Oh, okay.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Like embarrassing?
That was a funny Ed. Like me as a kid, like, ooh, I still love watching it.
Okay, so here's a great one, right? Okay.
Yeah.
I never want to like. I'm just saying, like, we would be happy to like, make some content for these teams, right? Because like it'd be good for them. It's good for the players. It's good for Fiji. Like it's good for everybody. And so we're at a conference last year, and the CEO of Rooster Chicken is there, and he comes up to me in the conference. He's like, "Hey, before I leave, I want to talk to you." And I was like, "Oh." And his speech at the conference was talking about, how they sponsored the Fijiana, and how that was such a successful thing for them as Rooster, as a brand, because at that time, the Fijiana had won the championship and everything. And then came to the end, and then he pulls me aside at one of the tables at GPH, and he's like, "Hey," he's like, you should buy some deep fridge and sell Rooster Chicken from your coffee shop." I'm like, dude, I don't want to hear about your chicken, man, number 13, number 15. He's like, you can make good margins on the wholesale. You buy it wholesale price and you sell it. All you have to do is just have the deep there. And I'm like, I just lost all my energy in that moment. I was like, I can't believe that we're talking about me selling chicken and not me like doing something else for you. Very bizarre. Very short-sighted. Very hilarious. Any questions? No? All right, guys. We'll keep it short. Let me know if you guys want this to go start later, or you guys like this time, or what. We're open to suggestions. I know sometimes like there'll be less people, and sometimes there'll be more. Sometimes there'll be more interaction. Sometimes there'll be less. And so we're very appreciative if you were here and you're watching and you're seeing this later on. Appreciate you guys very, very much. Yeah. Thank you guys for hanging out.
Yeah.
And we'll see you guys on Monday. Probably later though on Monday, but we'll see you on Monday. All right? Peace.
Okay, Mother.
Mother.